Knock him out the box, Rick. Knock him out, Rick. Knock him out the box.
We're back in action here with Misunderstood with Papa Rick.
Papa, Rick.
As we understand,
Hey, give him a little soundbite, man.
we are understanding
Try a different
slick,
soundbite.
slick, Rick.
Papa, Rick.
Papa Slick Rick.
Papa, Rick.
Out the box, Rick.
Knock him out the box, Rick.
Knock him out the box.
Oh, shit.
Knocking out the box. You are now
Knock him out the box, Rick. Knock him out, Rick. Knock him out the box, Rick. Come on, Paris. Knock him out the box, Rick. Knock him out, Rick. Knock him out the box, Rick. London,
Oh, yeah, the dog
give
like
me
it
that
too.
lap, yeah. Cannoli, give me the bark, yeah. Come on, Free. Tell him what's up, yeah. Come on now. Slick Rick in the house. Oh, no. Cannoli, come here. Dude, that might be the soundbite right there, man.
That's some money right there.
We all like talk about this kind of stuff all the time, and now's the time, man. I don't know. I don't think people are having real conversations enough. And right now we're all so disconnected and lonely and
Scared.
like, scared. And I feel like for everyone, their mental health is being stretched. Even if you're extremely emotionally intelligent, it's still stretching you to be patient. It's good. You can use it as like building strength and character. For some people, it's been that. They've gotten into better shape.
Yep.
They've said, okay, I'm stuck at home. I'm going to fucking buy a home gym and work out at home, right? And some have been like, this is too much. Like, they're not ready.
Right.
And that's okay. But at some point, I think the most effective thing to do, if you can do it for yourself, is to just realize you in control of the player and don't wait for the game to do shit for you. Go after that shit. I'm just saying, for me, it's all about helping. I like helping people figure out, whether it's my kids or other kids or teenagers or young adults, like, don't get sucked into something for the wrong reasons, because you should figure out who you are first. Go do odd jobs. Go work for free. Go do internships until you go, ooh, that's what I want to do. Go work for people that you think you want to be in 10 years, and then see if you like the environment. See if you like the tribe. Do you want to work in that environment? Does it fit you? Don't just take whatever life gives you or the game gives you. You can change it.
We live in a world where societal norms and caring about what other people think dictate our actions to going after things that we want to do. Like it sounds easy as we talk about it, but there's obviously something that's not easy about it, because there are people more often than not working jobs that they don't love. And they think to justify that they have to do that job, they have responsibilities, whether they have kids, whatever the case may be. And even though they're not happy, they justify it as, oh, okay, I have to do this anyway. I don't have a choice. But I think as we talk about it, yes, it's good that we talk about it, but I think we should dig into the part of how mentally you unwrap that belief of thinking that you can't figure out what that is, instead of just talking about it. Because like,
well,
there's so much more to unwrap with that,
right?
Because it's so common.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I have some suggestions and some solutions, but some of the solutions will take a lot of time and could be one of my stepping stones down the road, because it will take like a lot of capital. The school system needs to be changed. They need to customize education around each individual and try to figure out their talents and their like aspirations and go, ooh, because that kid's gonna work harder, man.
Exactly. I feel like I honestly, kids don't drop out of school because they can't. They're not because they're incapable of learning. Yeah. They just fucking don't like what they're doing.
Right, man.
Because they're being forced.
They make you study shit you
like,
don't care about.
Exactly.
And then you're being told you're
anyway,
stupid.
You don't even need when you graduate.
Yeah. Astronomy. Why do I need to know astronomy if I'm not interested? I learned the stars. I learned the solar system. My son came and told me that, Cody, when he was like 14. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you're not wrong. I go, but you want to homeschool or you want no, I want to be in school. I'm like, all right, well, just do the best you can. Exercise your brain. But I agree. I wish they would let you learn I don't know, sports management, the business behind sports management. You're interested in that.
I feel like they
Even in
should
college.
And then there's going to be math class. Guess what? Sports management is going to have math class, whatever, physical therapy class, like learning how to, whatever, all of those things. If you're going to be in sports management, you got to understand the whole business, keeping books, having a budget, agency fees,
That's
expenses,
so true.
travel expenses. Wow. Oh, you gotta have to make a spreadsheet on this Excel. Oh, I got to learn Excel. Oh, I got to learn PowerPoint because I got to go present to the board of directors somewhere. They can teach you the whole thing
And it's backwards
through what you
because
love.
I feel like people think like, oh, when you go to college, you're supposed to.
Yeah,
that's where you
right.
figure that out.
And they
But
don't
then
teach you
I
that
feel
in
like
college.
that's a
Nothing.
lot of people why they drop
Right.
out is because they fucking don't know what they want to
Right.
do.
Or they stick with it and then do some other shit.
Or the force of parents saying you have to go to school and you have to do this and do
Right.
this and do
And like
this.
speaking from your experience, just on prior conversations we've had, how you got into what you got into before, and you were something convinced you that was your passion, and then you got to a point where you were like, okay, this is not. I don't want to work in an office. I don't
Honestly, it was a form of that. I think I convinced myself I can't quit, and that I was not.
Yeah.
I may not be good at anything else.
Yeah.
But I never ever had passion for it. I didn't know what passion was. Nobody taught me. Nobody said, Rick,
Mhm.
you need to be like kind of like obsessive about it,
Yeah.
which I would have been about
I think-
philosophy.
Wait,
I
one
love philosophy class, man. But then I was told, well, what are you going to do with that? You're going to be a professor?
Exactly.
Well, that's like limiting.
I
And I'm
mean,
like, oh,
that's
you're
funny you
right.
say
That
that.
makes sense.
Just because your limitations on it
Right.
doesn't make it limiting.
Yeah. And people
know?
convince you with like stupid fortune cookie advice. Like,
Right.
well, no
Like-
career's perfect.
right.
And it's like, yeah,
They
that kind of
project
makes
their
sense.
negative
Okay.
energy on how they feel about it.
Right.
and
No,
make
but it's
it
funny
negative towards
you say
somebody
that
else.
about like passion. It's like no one teaches you about passion at all. I
No.
mean, you don't. It's kind of like one of those things that you kind of discover about yourself and finding your passion. I mean, with me, I'm passionate about what I do and I'm happy with what I do, and I don't have a job because I found my passion early on. But
Yeah.
like, that's why I feel like people really would love to find
Right.
out, like, how do we
Imagine-
get the passion? How do
Exactly.
you unlock the
That-
passion?
exactly.
So,
like
so here's
that.
the thing,
Yes.
right? I got into a tangent on school system, right? But real quick to tie it up, I just want to say, imagine 2 classrooms, 30 kids. One is traditional, whatever any subject, math, and another one in the elementary school years. There's at least 1 or 2 classes that focus on customizing the educate. It's AI driven through the computer. It keeps track of your test scores. Oh, this kid's into science, blah blah blah. Right? And so it's exposing. So imagine 30 kids and all of them are exposed to this. Hey, like, what are you into? What do you like? Okay, look at all these different careers. Okay, watch 3 YouTube videos today. You know, you can go on YouTube and search for a day in the life of a
Mhm.
anything,
Right.
of a musician, of a music studio producer, of a blogger, of a YouTuber, of a streamer, a video game streamer. And I've been doing that with Miles, man, my son, because I'm like, you kind of stopped soccer. That's cool. You don't have to be a professional soccer player. I don't care. You don't need to be an athlete for me, dude. Not that I ever made him feel that way, but he's like, yeah, I don't know. Okay, so let's figure it out. Don't wait till you're 18. He's 13. So I'm like, let's just watch YouTube videos together. He's like, all right. I'm like, well, what's the first video you want to watch? He goes, I don't know. I go, well, just you get to pick.
Pick one,
So
yeah.
whichever one makes you excited, like which one you like. Video games streamer, fine. And he goes, yeah, that'd be cool. So we watched this guy that was like, yeah, I get up in the morning, got breakfast, and then he shows how he sets it up and whatever. And he's like, oh, okay. And then I'm like, well, what else? He's like, I don't know, an entrepreneur. I'm like, oh. So he watched it. And then later he's like, man, I want to look into this entrepreneur thing because he saw this guy and the way he had his something about it grabbed him. It doesn't matter. The point is, I never thought to do anything of the kind. I was in an accounting major, having never stepped into an office in my life. I had a part-time job throughout college. I never worked in an office. I worked people-facing part-time jobs, like Bank of America teller, fucking bag boy. You know what I mean? Like, hey, how are you doing?
Bag.
Talking to people all day, right? I didn't know I was like an extrovert, and then maybe that's more for an introvert. I don't know. I didn't know anything about.
Yeah.
I didn't think like, what if I don't like it in the environment? I was just taught it's a job. Like nobody likes their job. Just pick
And
one.
that's so many
You want to be a
people.
doctor? Good. That's
Mhm.
even better. But okay, you can't do that. Do this. That's the way I thought. That's the way I was trained. I had this guy, Gabe. Hopefully he's watching this. Who was like always gambling,
Hey, Gabe.
always gambling,
Hey, Gabe.
always running stats. He had these crazy macros that he built on these spreadsheets for us and for his gambling addiction, kind of. Not addiction, but he was like a professional guy. He would like make money.
Yeah.
And we're like, how the fuck did you learn to make these macros in college? He's like, fuck no. I'm like, where? He goes, YouTube. So he just watched how they did macros on Excel. He learned everything from YouTube. Just say it. That's
YouTube
why
University is the true college.
I'm just
free.
saying, man.
Y'all
Big-
sign up now.
Start on YouTube.
University.
Before you go to
Subscribe here.
before you go subscribe to $100,000 or $200,000 program and give up 4 years of your life, start with YouTube. It's free, and then let that guide you toward like physically checking it out, doing some free jobs, and then go select your school that fits what you want. Not just go to some school and go, what am I gonna take on the menu? You're stuck with that menu? What? Forever?
Right.
For the rest of your life, pick some shit, right? I don't know. Accounting. I'll take, that's a good one. Look, it's stable. Perfect. I'll take accounting. And that's it. You're stuck with accounting for the rest of until you retire at 65? It's like, dude, that's like living hell, man. If that's not for you, right? If it's not for you. Because I showed up that first day into a cubicle situation, high walls, 100 cubicles in LA County. I worked at LA County
so
Audit
depressing.
Division. Like in the Hall of Records, dude. Depressing, like old. Everything was old, quiet. There was no talking. There was no interaction. They gave me a pile of manuals and were like, sit right here, man. 6 hours in, I'm like, did they forget about me? I'm like, what the fuck is this, dude? I was like depressed.
Yeah.
I would call my girlfriend. I would go downstairs, call her, and cry, dude. I would cry, like, I can't do this. And she's like, you got this, baby. And my dad would say, well, don't give up. You're being a fucking pussy. Right?
Damn.
Nobody liked job. Serious.
No like job.
Nobody liked job. And I just got a degree and I'm making good money and I got benefits, dude. It's hard to like say no. And then
I mean,
know?
I think that's what
20
I
years
think our
later, man.
day and age people are like battling, especially with your son's about to. I was just having this conversation with someone. When 10 years ago, there was no Facebook, Instagram. There was just MySpace. But like now, kids have the opportunity to go and be a content creator.
right.
They have the opportunity to be, they can go on Vine or TikTok and make money, or YouTube and make
Right.
money. There's kids that are like 9 years old on YouTube.
And
Just-
even for that though, the key is to find who you are. Because you're not gonna win on TikTok if you're not being who you are.
No, but I'm just saying, like the kid
You know what I'm
that's doing the reviews on
Yeah.
toys or candy or
Making-
snacks, and I'm like, what? Like, and he's 9, and I mean, I think a lot of us feel like we've been there, done that, or we're like too old to do that. But it's like there's never a time that it's like you're too old to do something, to dive into your passion. And, I think that's really like finding your passion at an early age will
Help you.
save you the time and the future for when
Right.
you're not 50 and saying, dang, like I want to like do this. It's like, well, I did that at 14.
Right.
Bro,
You
that's what
know?
I'm doing. I'm
I'm
starting like kind of backwards.
Yeah.
Like I went
got
20
the
plus
Benjamin Button.
yeah, I went 20 plus years
Yeah.
in corporate like accounting and audit, internal audit stuff. Like, I learned a lot and I'm not regretting any of it because it was like my Nelson Mandela moment. Like it was like my living, almost like I could have taken it like a living hell, but I learned a lot and I bounced around a lot. I tried different companies and trying to make it interesting for myself, built a lot of teams. I met a lot of people. I learned a lot because of that, because I didn't stay at one place, because I didn't want to do the same thing. And so it became a positive. But to your point, man, it's so much more difficult to pursue your passion when you've got 4 kids like me and like and X and like, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of financial obligations and trying to figure out how to run your own businesses and figure out which kind of business you even want by trial and error a little bit. Cause, you know, I'm trying to figure, you know, and I'm finding it. Like I got into some things that I really love and that are making money.
Yeah.
But
It
I
just
think
takes
that-
time to get to the same level that you build over 20 plus years. So if you start young before you have financial obligations or as many, you know, you can live with other people. You can grind for 10 years, man. If you can grind for 10 years, not everybody can. And that's okay. If you choose to just take a job, that's okay. You know what I mean? Not everyone's going to have the opportunity. Some people have to take care of kids, whatever. So see, that's the thing. Like, this isn't about like, you're not good enough. You should be, you know, fixing yourself. This is just, I want to help kids go, hey, make sure you know what you were taught may not be at all. You should like open your mind a little bit. Like you may be being fed information that's not really helping you.
because
It's not allowing you to
underneath all of everything you're saying, like the root, there's a root to everything. And I think in understanding that belief that there is no ceiling, it starts with what you're told from an early age. And if you encourage the development of and you put into your kid that, hey, you can honestly do whatever you want, and there's no ceiling to that, they're going to live their life and lead with the intention of understanding what that really means.
And
I think it and a lot of people,
true.
a lot of people start like a lot of people have that belief that, oh, like I'm supposed to work this job that I hate, and they make all these justifications behind it so they can just figure it out and do it. But there's a root to that. And I feel like it's a pandemic of its own because again, like there are so many people that are doing this. Yes. The real pandemic is people doing something that they're not passionate about.
Absolutely. Think about it, man. Think about it.
That's the root.
London,
That's
think
the
about
root.
it, man. If a bee colony or an ant colony started funneling honeybees or worker bees to the wrong positions,
They're not going to be effective.
right? That beehive's going to be a saggy ass beehive, like pretty damn quick.
In two fields that you guys are in, where traditionally the world will tell you, okay, that's not sustainable. Don't do that. Go be a lawyer and go find a job where you have a secured amount of money that you can attain. So it's very admirable to see two people that are here that are doing like kind of like when the world says no, you guys are just saying fuck you. I'm going to say yes. This is what I want to do.
This is what I'm
and
making.
I believe that this is going to work.
Yeah.
And again, it's very admirable, and we're all here because we have some understanding that purpose is intentional.
Yeah.
And we want to utilize our purpose with whatever intention we can attain by growing and learning from each other. So I'm glad we're all here.
Yo.
And I appreciate it.
I mean, it's really powerful. Like I said, I mean, I believe in all of us, you know, I mean, I don't think this was a moment, you know, that we all just came together. You know what I mean? Like I said, I haven't seen you in maybe like 3 years now.
It's been
you
a
know?
while.
I mean, I'm like, yo, I see Paris. I'm like, yo, what's up with that? And, you know, I'm like, you know, I mean, I'm always, you know, keeping you in my prayers and everything. But, you know, it's just like, I know all of us are here to be something impactful for all of each other's lives. You know, like I said, all of us could say a lot of things about Rick, but, you know, I mean, from the beginning, since we have met him and, you know, like him just, like I said, bringing his dreams into life and, you know, kind of seemed like, I want to have a podcast. What does that look like? How long does it take? And, you know, I mean, he's always been anxious to have it, but it's like, you know, this is the right time.
Yeah.
This is the time, you know, if he would have had it maybe 2 years ago, it wasn't the right time, you know, it was like, so this is like the right time for everything. You know, I mean, me being with the bus and starting that whole movement, it wasn't the time for me to do that 3 years ago. I mean, this year during this pandemic was the perfect time for this opportunity.
And it's
so
understanding
like,
that in any situation that is meant to bring you down or tell you that, oh, I can't do it.
Yeah.
If you understand that, if you understand what that's doing to you, it's easier to understand how to maneuver and go the opposite way.
Yeah.
It's like if you walk into a wall, you're like, oh shit, okay, I know what this wall will do to me if I walk into it. It's probably going to hurt.
Yep.
Understanding what the ripple effect of that will look like, that should give you the insight and knowledge to say, okay, I know what this is going to do to me. Now, how will I respond? How will you respond? And in times, in the most uncertain times that we've ever been in, the fact that we're here trying to push the envelope, whoever's watching or listening is going to look at this and say, oh shit, like we're in a pandemic. This is a time where neurobiologically we're hardwired to think that hard times are supposed to keep us down, are supposed to keep us down. But the fact that we're doing this, the symbolism of it means so much more than I feel like anything. Like we're here and we're telling whoever's listening that despite whatever is thrown our way, we can still find a way to respond and live and find our purpose and be intentional. And whether it's a pandemic or anything that has the potential to keep you down, it doesn't have to. And so I think that's the root of all of it. Just understanding that there's no ceiling to anything. The only ceiling is what we tell ourselves we can't do, or what we tell ourselves we can't think or believe. Outside of that is just noise.
Knock him out the box, Rick. Knock him out, Rick. Knock him out the box.